scene.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Are we good? Are we good, guys? Are we done with this scene?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. Moving forward, child, honey, child. Lord have mercy. It was a whole lot. This was a whole lot. Okay. All right. And sorry about my pictures, guys, because in real life, when I was taking these pictures, I took Sadora swimming. I was in this little cubby hole trying to take these pictures, and some of them did not come out that great. But next scene, we do have Tony and Morgan. They are meeting up, and she states that Tony recently put her in a very compromising situation with another woman. He brings up the meeting that they had with his sister, and he talks about how the sister was like, y'all want counseling, and pretty much she then tells, or Morgan then tells Tony that she has some current concerns about moving forward. Morgan brings up the entanglement with Natasha. Tony says that things happened between him and Natasha, yes, but it was in the very beginning. It was in the very, very beginning before him and Morgan got serious. So Morgan says that, you reached for the lowest hanging fruit that went home the very first night. She says that she decided to bring it up now because, like she's looking at his actions and he's taking it very lightly. Like he just like blowing stuff off. And she like, oh, you want to blow stuff off? Well, guess what? I'm about to talk about this situation here on screen with the cameras in our face. She says, like, where are your standards? She wants to know, is he concerned with who he puts his penis in? He says, what happened with him and Natasha, like it wasn't like that. Like you making this more than what it is. He's like, I thought we got past this. He says that he is not going to allow Morgan to sit there and degrade Natasha, though. He says that he makes mistakes and he told her because he respects her, Morgan, and wanted to tell her instead of her hearing it from someone else. So this is going to be a lot.
Okay, so I'll say this. Like in this particular episode, I'll just start off and say that Tony in this episode earned my respect, right? Because what I did like was he said, "Look, I'm not gonna let you tear this woman down." He didn't have any, real stake in the game to have to do that, based off of the entanglement. It happened. He got his or whatever, right? And he could have bounced out and been like, okay, I did my thing. Yeah, baby, yeah. She ain't about nothing, yada yada yada. He didn't do that. So it does say something about him in terms of um, you know, I, I'll say this. I see that protector side that, I'm hearing about in this moment because he protected Natasha. He said, yo, I get it. You're mad, but I can't. I'm not going to let you, tear this woman down or whatever, like she ain't about nothing. And so that situation right there should have been probably, the I don't know. I mean, there's so many red flags out here, but this would have told me to leave Morgan alone on two things. Number one, we already had this conversation, so now you want to try to drag me and this other person that was involved and bring it to national TV because you can't get over this, right? And you don't have the wherewithal to walk away from me or the situation because you're not happy with the way that this is, panning out. So that's one of it. Second part is, why are you sitting here tearing down this other lady, right? Because I don't know, you feel like she stole from you or whatever. You had the opportunity to leave right then and there. You didn't, and you hung in there. And this is the thing. This leads back to the counseling thing. And so what it sounds like to me is I need to fix me, and I hope that during this process of if we have quote unquote counseling, I could fix who I am. He can see that I'm trying to fix myself, and then maybe this will work for me. But this, this whole situation right here is just like, I was so mad when I saw that episode, when I saw this play out on TV, because there's a woman here that can't even talk to this. She can't defend herself. Thank God Tony, did step in and say, "Yo, I'm not with it," because otherwise, she's just out there left to dry, and she's not even in this process anymore to really cover her own ass or cover her own back. Like, this is red flag city. I would have walked away. Why would you try to bring that back up? I'm done.
Tyrone.
Yeah, I feel you, Paul. Like it's kind of difficult to get the words out. Um, but we touched on some things. Earlier, Stacy had mentioned, using a vulnerability as a weapon. And that's the first thing. Like if we had already talked about something, I admitted to it, I apologized to it, I told you how I felt about it, I explained everything to you, you absorbed it all, you said we was gonna move on and move past it, but now you want to bring it up again because you not feeling good about a certain situation. Nah, you got maybe one or maybe two times to do that to me, and I'm peacing out, because I can't do it because now I'm walking around, you know, on edge because you might bring up something that hurt you in the past. I just can't do it. One of the things that stung to me was that she said that's conduct unbecoming of a man when he didn't owe nobody nothing at the time, when it all happened. I understand that Tommy mentioned rules, but in a way, those rules are more like speeding. You know, you shouldn't do it, but you're gonna have to suffer the consequences. If you get caught speeding. In a way, Tony didn't know how long he was gonna be there. And I feel like there's rules for the show, and like there's rules for everyone's individual process. And at that time, maybe he saw a possibility of a connection at that time because he don't know how long he's staying on the show as well. Yeah, but to bring that up, to go at Natasha, the fact that he did defend Natasha, I would have done the same thing. One, to protect her, and then two, to be like, I'm not out here just smashing trash. Like, what kind of guy do you think I am? First of all, and she's got a lot of credentials. She's a whole lawyer. You know what I mean? She's on the same show as everybody else. So the fact that she went home on day one does not, limit her, does not make her the low-hanging fruit. She just happened to be the one that got voted off first, and that could have been for any number of reasons, right? For lack of connections. So yeah, like just like how you're feeling, Paul, like you can't seem to like get all the words out. Like I feel the exact same way. Like if there was any reason to walk away, like this would be the reason. Like there's really nothing else
No doubt
left to
about it.
see. Yeah.
Stacy.
One second, I'm finishing up a thought. I'm sorry.
So for me, I know when I actually reviewed it on Friday, and I keep saying, guys, if you haven't seen my live reaction watch party, I go in like a lot about how I feel about things during my watch party. So if you haven't seen that, definitely check that out. But it made me feel a type of way. One thing about me, I'll always accept people for who they are. If you're the nice guy, if you're the villain, if you're the not so fun person, if you're the toxic person, I feel like if you're showing me exactly who you are and you're unapologetically you, I'm going to love you. I don't like to guess who people are and how they are. So if you show me like, yeah, I'm that BITCH, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like me, you just don't like me. I'm going to be like, sis, I love you. I love you because you're being exactly who you are. Now, when Morgan did that and said the things that she said about Natasha, it really hit home, because one thing about me, I don't talk bad about people. Like, I usually give people like their props. If they do something I don't like, I'll be like, I don't like it. I don't think that but I don't really be bad mouthing people. But when she said and did the things that she said about Natasha, it just really rubbed me the wrong way. And I just was like, at that point, that was like my point where I was like, sis, like, y'all know I'm a girl's girl. Like, I try to uplift, empower, and, speak positivity, even when it's like not that great. Like, I just be like, oh, why she do that? Like, I wish she wouldn't have did that. But it's just like, tag, like, like I was kind of, I knew like the Nair thing kind of rubbed me the wrong way with Morgan. And I was just like, dang, sis, she's a beast. Like, she don't care. You know what I'm saying? But like, this just kind of hit me home. And I just was like, dang, like, why did she do that? Because at the end of the day, Natasha didn't do nothing to her. Absolutely nothing to her.
Not even there to talk on her own behalf.
Nothing.
Nope. And I'm sorry, I was like finishing up comments in the chat. However, I did not like, I wrote this down. I do not like Morgan calling Natasha low-hanging fruit because she was eliminated at the mixer. We know that it's a lot that goes into the mixer. It's our first time being on TV. It's our first time with all these cameras around. And what we've seen historically was that sometimes attorneys are some of the first to go because they're very 100. But what we've also seen was they're the first ones to